Good afternoon everybody, and welcome back into my craft room for the first edition in a couple of weeks, or is it even 3 weeks, of Stampin' Chat Live. I'm really happy to be back. I'm hoping I've remembered to press all the right buttons at the right time and that I am indeed live. So if you're watching, it would be fantastic if you could let me know whether you can see and hear me okay, because I do feel very, very rusty at this. It's funny how quickly you forget how to do things, or at least I do, particularly if they are technical things, because as most of you know, that is not where my expertise lies. So let me know if everything looks and sounds okay. I have my fingers crossed, and I'm just gonna move over to my iPad and just have a quick look at that, which is where I'll be able to see your comments and see what you can see. So let me just bring myself to the screen. Okay. So it looks as if I'm live. I've remembered to turn the volume down. Okay, so let me know how things sound, let me know how things look. I will assume everything's okay unless you tell me otherwise. So depending on when you're watching this and where in the world you are, here in the UK we have got absolutely amazing weather today. The sun is shining, there's a clear blue sky. I'm down in the south of the country. I went out just now to have a look at the thermometer we've got in the garden. It's in the shade and it was reading 29 degrees centigrade. So in the sun that will be quite a lot more than that, I would think. However, we have got very low humidity. In the UK, usually when it gets hot, it gets very, very humid, which I can't stand. But relatively low humidity with the heat I love. In fact, I've been to the desert a few times, not in the UK, in the US, and I absolutely love that climate. Hot and dry suits me very well. I have got a fan on in the background and I've got the windows open, so there will be traffic noise, and if the fan noise gets too much, please let me know and I will turn it off. However, I did try without it on and it was definitely warming up in here, so I switched it back on. So Kay is here. Thank you very much for welcoming me back, Kay. I'm assuming that you can hear everything okay, and it's nice to be back with you. So what have I been doing? Well, the first one of these which I didn't do was over the Jubilee weekend. So in the UK we had a fantastic 4-day weekend with an extra bank holiday and a moved bank holiday, so that we could celebrate the 70th Jubilee of the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. It was lovely to have 4 days together, and in the little hamlet I live in we have a tiny little village green, and we all got together on that. More people from our little hamlet than I had ever seen. There can't be many people who were not there. We brought food to share, we sat outside. It was absolutely lovely, and the weather was not brilliant. Actually, it reminded me of the day we were married, which was only a couple of days after the Jubilee celebration, when it was chilly and very windy and threatening rain. It was just like that on June the 6th, 1987, I can tell you. Pam is here. Hello Pam, it's lovely to have you. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. So that was the first reason that I missed a week, because we had a bank holiday here and I tend not to do these broadcasts on bank holidays. And then last weekend we went away, my husband and I, to Guildford, which is where we went to university. We actually both met at the University of Surrey. We met on our very first day there. In the evening there was a social for our halls of residence, and that's where we met, and never looked back, as they say. So we had a reunion for my course, which was Hotel and Catering Management, and we had a reunion for the 40 years since we had started. So not since we graduated, I'm no doubt do that one, but 40 years since we had started. So if you do the maths, you will realise why there are days when I feel very old. I was quite nervous about the weekend, although I was looking forward to seeing people, many of whom I hadn't seen since we graduated, which would have been 36 years ago. I was also a bit nervous because you're never quite sure how people will remember you, and will people have changed. But actually, within minutes of getting back together again, we were all talking 19 to the dozen, and it was like we just met up last week. It was a really, really great weekend. The people who organised it did a fantastic job. So we did a lot of talking. We may have spent time in 1 or 2 bars. We had a fantastic Greek meal out on the main evening of the event, and some of us went for an Indian meal the first night of the event. So yeah, so that's why I wasn't here last week. So thank you for managing without me. It really was a great weekend. However, I was so tired on Monday. Honestly, I can't go to bed that late, and I certainly can't do it 2 nights running without really suffering these days. So I'm normally a 10 o'clock in bed girl, but well after midnight, 2 nights running, yeah, not good for me. I've just about caught up on my sleep now. All right, so what else has been happening in my world? Well, most of you know, but I will say it again because I'm so excited. My daughter got engaged a couple of weeks ago. She has got engaged to her long-term girlfriend, who we adore, and the two of them are so happy. They are just beaming out at the world every time I see them, and we're absolutely delighted. So that's something else very exciting that's happened to our family over the last couple of weeks. But in Stampin' Up news, lots of things to tell you. We are on the last chance list for the January to June mini catalogue, which I will hold up, just so you know the one I'm talking about. Everything will be backwards, don't worry about that. But it's this one, the one with the windmill on the front. So that ends on the 30th of June. Anything that hasn't carried forward to the annual catalogue will be disappearing forever then, if it doesn't sell out first. Some things have gone already. If you had a favourite from that you didn't manage to get, please order it soon. You can order from my website, and in a minute when I put the camera down, I've got my website address on my desk ready for you to have a look at. Or of course, I'm always happy to order for you. I order approximately every other week, and if you can collect your order from my house or from one of my classes, then I'm happy to order for you, and you collect from me with a reduced shipping cost because I share it between the people who order. Of course, I'm also happy to place an order for you and have it shipped to you at home, where you have to bear the full shipping cost, I'm afraid, because obviously I can't share it if it's only you. So, last chance list. Lots of those items which are ending are discounted, many of them by 50%. There are some huge bargains. I think it's the most discounted list I remember seeing for a few years. So do take a look at that on my website, as I say, address in just a moment. There is an offer on kits at the moment. Now, I love a kit. I love it for those days where I just want to sit and craft and not have to think about designing or choosing colours or anything else. I love a kit to take into the garden because it all comes in a box, and I just pick up the box and off I go. I took kits when I went on holiday earlier this year. Lots of you know that we were lucky enough to go on a long cruise in February and March time, and I took some kits with me there. They were just so easy to pack. Everything was there. I didn't need to pick out ink pads or take refills or anything. No glue, no nothing. It was all there. They're lovely things to give as gifts for people, and also for people that you would like to introduce to crafting but who maybe don't have lots of stuff. And they're fantastic for children. It's not going to be that long before the little darlings have broken up from school for the summer. So if you are looking to occupy your own children or grandchildren, maybe, or even great-grandchildren over the summer holidays, then some of the kits are fantastic. There's a brilliant new one with robots, which is super for kids, but there are other ones there they will enjoy, and there are even kits that teenagers will enjoy. There's a magnetic notice board kit that will be brilliant for their bedrooms, all sorts of other kits. I've just got a new one which I'm going to show you when I put the camera down, but the reason I'm going on about kits at the moment is this month, if you buy one kit, you can buy a second kit at half price. And if you choose two which are different prices, then your most expensive one is it's half price. The second one is your half price one. That will be your most expensive one, and if you're ordering online, then the system will automatically only charge you half for your most expensive kit. If you're ordering with me, I will make sure that you get half off your most expensive kit. So that's why I'm telling you about it. Fantastic offer. Lots of the kits have got stamping in them, not all of them, so you don't have to do stamping. If you do stamping, when you finish the kit, you get it left with a stamp set, an ink pad and a block, so you can do more crafting. So that sounds fantastic. So Pam has just said she's on her last day in London today, cat sitting for her son. Like everywhere else, it is so hot. I bet it is hot in London. It's usually a few degrees hotter than down here. The parakeets in the park at the end of the garden are happy, more like their original habitat. I should think it is, Pam. I hope you found a little patch of shade somewhere. And Maureen is here. Welcome, Maureen. I don't think I said hello to you. If I did, you've had a double hello. All right, so the last chance on the January to June catalogue. Buy 2 kits and get the second one half price, and there is a new catalogue coming. I've got copies of them for those of you who have shopped with me in the last 6 months or come to a class. I will be mailing those out as soon as I can, and there are some lovely things in the catalogue. I'm allowed to show you the cover, so again the writing will be back to front. Let me show you that. Okay, that says Season's Greetings. And I know there is Christmas on the cover, but panic not. I know it's only June. I'm not going to be thinking about Christmas yet for several months. However, there are lovely things in there for adding to your existing crafting stash. There's some beautiful ribbons and embellishments. There are lovely papers for late summer and autumn crafting. If you like to craft for Halloween, that's your catalogue. And of course there is Christmas and Christmas. There are some really beautiful things in there, and I'm very excited to start using those. So yes, now because we're getting a new catalogue to launch, I will be doing 2 Facebook Lives the week of the catalogue launch. So the catalogue launches 2 weeks today, the 1st of July, which is easy to remember. So I'll be doing a Facebook Live as usual that Friday, which will be part of the catalogue launch. And the day before, Thursday the 30th of June, I will also be doing a Facebook Live, same time, 2 o'clock, same place, here in my craft room. And as usual, I will upload it to my YouTube channel. I'll be showing you some of the new things. I'll be doing some crafting with some of the new things for both of those sessions. So pop them in your diary, but you can always watch them on YouTube afterwards, or find them on Facebook and watch them afterwards on the replay as well if you can't be there live with me. All right, I think it's now time for me to put the camera down to my desk, where I will have my website and my email in case you need it. I'm going to show you the current suite sampler. I'm going to show you the new kit I was just mentioning, and then we're going to do some crafting with the Heron Habitat bundle, which is new to me. It's new in the annual catalogue, and I really like it. So let me cover you over while I move everything down. And let's see if I can remember how to change everything so it is the other way around and mirror imaged. Otherwise things will look very strange indeed. Okay. Now, I won't know how that looks until I take the post-it off. So let me do that now. And fingers crossed. Okay, I can't see anything yet either. Right, so I need to move my paper up. Oh, I've got it really well blue tacked down so it doesn't blow in the fan and the open window. So let's move that way a little bit. That's my notes. You don't need to see those. And let me move this way a little bit. And hopefully between those two things you will have a good view of what I'm going to be doing. I might need the washi tape in a minute. Okay, that could still do with going up a bit. This is what I'm really rusty on, getting everything in the right place. Okay, we've got a wonk on that. That's not straight, is it? And let's move it that way a bit. Okay, I think we're nearly there. Stick that down again. Move all those things to the side. It's still not straight. And I never know which way to move this, as you know perfectly well. Let's see if that's any better. Yes, I think that's about as good as it's going to get. Let me just lift this cable up with some washi tape. I've got a very summery washi tape today. It's got, well, I think it's gulls. It could be clouds, but I think they're gulls on a blue sky. So let me just tape this cable up out of the way. And try and, it's always a bit tricky, this maneuver, because I need enough cable that I'm not going to pull everything over when I lean to reach something, but not so much that it's dangling all over the desk. So hopefully that will do the trick. Okay, so my website and email are there. I'll give you a minute to write that down if you need it, just while I have some water. Okay. and I'll put that up to the top, and I'm going to show you this new kit. So there were 2 new kits released a week or 2 ago. One is the robots kit, which I mentioned to you, which I haven't got, but the other one is this kit, which is called kindness cards, and I'll show you what you get in the kit. I did take the cellophane off. This was all in the kit. It's all packaged up with cellophane, but this is the box that it comes in. So if you're going on holiday or going into the garden to craft, or going to a friend's to craft, or whatever you're doing, going to watch your husband play cricket, who knows, this is all you need to take. Maybe chuck a pair of scissors in, but that's all you're going to need, because everything will be in the box, which is fantastic. So this is, as I say, kindness cards. This kit was £22. If you buy 2 of them, then your second one will only be £11. So you've got an instruction leaflet here, which is in colour, and it tells you how to make the different cards exactly as they have here. But of course you can do your own thing. On the back here, if you scan these QR codes with your phone, then you will be able to see a couple of videos, one about stamping basics and one giving you detailed instructions for this particular kit. I've only fairly recently discovered QR codes. They're amazing. I mean, those of you who are used to doing things like that were probably laughing at me. They're amazing, the information they can get you to. Alright, so this is the stamps that you get. They're photopolymer stamps, and I'll read them out to you because they're not going to be very easy for you to see. So this one has around the top and the bottom, no act of kindness is ever wasted, and then across the middle, kindness wins, you are so amazing. So really nice to thank somebody. This one here says, pass it on, you made my day, hello, thanks. I have to just take the back of this. Kind people are my kind of people. This one says, you shine like the stars, have a great day. Your smile makes the world a brighter place, and inspired by your kindness. So they're all about somebody who's been kind and saying thank you. But of course, you know, if you've got a stash of stamps, you can use any stamps you like. There is a block in here. This is what I call an entry-level block, or a travelling block. It's not as thick as the ones in our annual catalogue, but it's nice quality, and it will take all your stamps beautifully, and it's not as heavy. So if you've got to go somewhere where the weight of your bag matters, then these are quite good to have. If you prefer to use your own blocks, then these are great for putting ink onto, to pick up with a water brush or a blender pen, and working your ink blending brush on. You've seen me do that. All sorts of things you can use those for if you don't want to actually use it as a stamp block. There's a mini basic grey ink pad. This is one of my most used colours. Never hurts to have another one of those. There's a little bag here with these little labels in, which are for stamping your sentiments on. There are 2 sheets of those, and there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that's 20 labels in 5 different colours. I haven't told you the colours. The colours are Basic Grey, Bermuda Bay, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Pale Papaya, Pool Party, and Soft Sea Foam. So those are all the colours that feature on the other components I'm going to show you in a sec. You haven't got labels in all those colours, but they are all coordinating. And these are die cut and self-adhesive. Let me just pop those back in there. I think this kit might be finding its way out into the sunshine with me tomorrow. They've said, oh, I've stuck it to my desk now, never mind. They've said we might get some rain on Sunday, maybe some thunderstorms, we'll see. Most of you will know how accurate the British weather forecast is not. So then this little tin is in the kit. This is lovely, I do love a tin. And then inside there are lots and lots of other things. So, oh, we've got more labels. It's interesting. I wonder if I got a double lot. I think I might have got extra labels actually, because it's only showing 2 on there, so there's a bonus. There's a sheet of stickers. These are really sweet. We've got some rainbows and some little sort of florals, sunshines, little geometric patterns. This is designed to decorate the tin with. If I show you the leaflet, you can see here they've used this large sticker here, and then the label they've stamped in the center. Okay, and in fact, now I've picked up the leaflet again, I can see those little stickers I just showed you, they've used as envelope seals, so those are very sweet. Then we have envelopes, and this makes, is it 8, 2, 4, 6, 8 cards. So these envelopes are, I think, 3 inches square. Yeah, they're 3 1/4 inches square, so they'll fit a 3-inch square card. They're this beautiful pool party with a patterned lining. Let's lift that up and try and show you that. A really nice quality envelopes. They're thick. I don't know if the linings are all the same. I think they are. Yeah, soft seafoam linings. And then these are the cards. Now these are made of like coaster board. They're very, very, very thick. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They are 10-sided. If any of you are mathematicians, you can tell me the name of that shape. So it's an octagon, but with an extra 2 sides. Okay, I know it's not an octagon, but it's reminiscent of an octagon. And we've got obviously 8 of those. There are 2 each of 4 designs, and these have got a foiled scallop design around the edges, and I don't know if the camera will pick it up. Embossing just inside that foil. I'll bring it really close, but it might just be too blurry. Yeah, I don't think you can see that. So we've got a flirty flamingo, pear, soft seafoam and gold. And then if I pick this up again, you can see that those are the backs, and then these are the fronts, which have got these gorgeous geometric mandala designs on them. The colours are so pretty. I'm going to pull some of these out and use them on some cards, I think. So really lovely. So the idea is that on the pattern side you can put one of these labels with your stamping on it, a short phrase, and then on the back you could shine something larger, stamp something larger. I've just seen the shine stamp, that's why I'm saying that. Pop them in an envelope, and then you could give them as a gift to somebody, because a tin of cards makes a really nice present. Or you could just keep the tin yourself, which is probably what I will do, and give out the cards when somebody has done something particularly nice for you. So I think I'm going to stick those in there. There we go. Pop the lid on. And keep your piece of cardboard, because your stamps are photopolymer, and this makes a good slightly softer surface, so you'll get a decent impression from your stamps. So don't just chuck it away. You can also test your stamping on there as well. I always stamp new stamps on some scrap paper just to get a feel for them, and that piece of cardboard is perfect for that. And then, as I say, everything goes back in the box to pack up or to pack to take away with me. So I love the kits. That one is a really nice one. I'm just about able to lean and reach and put it somewhere else. Okay, so I promised to show you the new suite sampler. So this is the Hues of Happiness suite, which is in the annual catalogue. It features on the front cover, and inside it is on page 108. So you can get a closer look at things here. It's a lovely, lovely suite. I've got the stamps and dies, and they're fantastic because the dies cut out some of the paper, which I really like. So in your sampler you've got a little bit of everything. You've got some card which coordinates with the paper. So we've got Melon Mambo, Granny Apple Green, Night of Navy, Pool Party, Daffodil Delight and Fresh Freesia. So lovely card colours there. Then you've got a quarter of a pack of the patterned paper, which I'll turn around. Perhaps I won't, no, perhaps I won't, I'll show you this. I think it'll just about go under. So this is lovely. This is graduated colours all the way down, and like little cross stitches on the back in a whole rainbow of colours. Then we've got an all over floral design, but again a rainbow of colours, and I love this on the back. Paint that's been applied to canvas, again in a rainbow. This is one of the papers which you can cut out with your dies, so you can cut out all the flowers on this. These teeny little daisies don't, but the dies will cut out all of the flowers on here, and most of the leaves. It won't cut out these little groups of leaves, but they're okay to cut out by hand, I have found. So you'll get that one, which is like that on the back. Another graduated one. Now you can cut these out with scissors. Again, they're not too complicated to cut out. And you've got an all over floral on the back. More flowers here on a dark background, more paint. Oh, just love that. Then this one will also cut out with the dies. So this is shades of pink and yellow. And look at those colours, gorgeous. So beautiful papers. Then you'll get half a pack of these glossy dots, which pick out the colours from the paper. So these are like little resin dots, and they've got almost I don't know, not exactly holographic, but a sort of a shimmer to them. Then you'll get two lots of ribbon. Now my ribbon for this hasn't come, so I'm going to show you a picture. This is white and rose gold striped ribbon, and you'll get a quarter of a reel of that. And then I've just dropped the other ribbon on the floor. There we go, which is the Pool Party shimmer ribbon. So you get a quarter of a reel of this. This is beautiful. It's sheer, but it's got a real, I don't know if it'll pick it up, but a real shimmer to it. It's very pretty ribbon. It ties beautifully. All right, so I'm now going to try and get it back into the bag without it all blowing across my craft room, which may be a challenge. So this little sampler then, as always, what I do is I buy full packs and I split them up so that you don't have to buy a full pack of everything. You can try a little bit of everything, and then if there's something that you really, really like, then you know that you're going to enjoy having a whole pack of it. So the sweet sampler for this, if you can collect it from me, is £13. If you'd like me to post it to you, I can do that. It goes second class in a board backed envelope, and that is £15.50. So it's the £13 plus the postage and packing charge. And in terms of pricing these, I work out pro rata what the catalogue price is, and then I round it up to the nearest pound. So there you go, that's the Hues of Happiness sweet sampler. You need to order it by the 24th of June, which is next Friday, so there's only a week left to order this. Then I will order everything, I'll cut it and pack it, and it will be posted to you on the 22nd of July. So that's the sweet sampler. If you're interested in that, you can email me and I will get that sorted for you. Now I realise actually, as I'm looking across at my desk, there is another brochure which I didn't show you right at the beginning when I was saying how exciting it was that we've got a new catalogue coming, and that is Celebration. Celebration is coming back. Yes, we get 2 celebrations a year now, and I can't show you what's inside. I am allowed to show you the cover. This is a wonderful brochure. This is the best celebration brochure I have seen in years. Yes, let me lift it up a little bit. You can have a little closer look, see what's in there. I'll be sending these out when I send out your new mini catalogues as well. In case you hadn't remembered, Celebration is a 2-month promotion, and you get free things if you shop big, or if you host a gathering, and if you join Stampin' Up. So very briefly, because I'll be talking more about this when I do my lives in launch week, if you spend £45 or multiples of £45 during that period, then you can choose one or more free items from this catalogue. And the free items include stamps, dies and patterned papers. If you spend £90 in one go, then there are some higher value items where if you spend £90 you can choose that higher value item, or you can choose 2 of the £45 purchase items. If you place a really large order, £150 or more, then as well as your own choices from here, as I've just described, there's an extra free stamp set you'll get, which is really lovely. I can't open the catalogue and show you, but it's really nice. And that £150 order can be all for you, or it can be made up of things that your family and friends have said they would like as well. So people can club together and you give me the order, you'll get the free stamp set. You will also get free products, which we call stamping rewards. So you can choose them from either of the current catalogues up to a particular value depending on the value of the order. So there's lots of free things when there's a big order placed. And then finally, if you join Stampin' Up with me during Celebration, you will get absolutely free £31 worth of products of your choice from either of the 2 current catalogues. And there is also a really, really lovely planning set. There's a beautiful ring-bound planner which covers an 18-month period, 3 notebooks, and I'm trying to think what the other thing is. I'm going to have to look off here because I can't show you. There's something else you get as well, and I cannot for the life of me think what it is. Oh, a stamp set. Yeah, a planning stamp set. It's also got our Stampin' Up angel stamp in it and various other things. So those are absolutely wonderful. Joining Stampin' Up is always a great deal, and it's an even better deal during Celebration. So there you go. That's the catalogues. All right. Now, shall we do some crafting? Let me show you Heron Habitat. Okay, so it's a set of stamps and a set of dies. They're available separately or as a bundle, and obviously bundled you're going to save 10% on buying them separately. The dies are lovely. Some of them cut out stamped images and some of them are standalone, and I've actually die cut and stamped so I can show you those, which I think perhaps is a little bit easier. So here are the stamps. Let me just move that because it's probably a little bit distracting. There we are. So you have a flying heron, you've got a standing heron, or you could be a wading heron, some bulrushes. You've got a little bird here. He looks a bit like a tern, or even a little bit like a skimmer, although his beak's not quite right. But, you know, he could be lots of birds depending on where you live. You've got a couple of flying birds here. You've got this little kind of reeds and water image. And then 4 sentiments. Happy birthday, enjoy your day, I'm so thankful for you, and you're in my thoughts today. And I've realised I've just missed one off there because there is a thank you as well. There we go. I've used that one. I've just managed to miss it off here. I'll stamp that on here later. And the dies, so they cut out your 3 bird images and the bulrush image, and then there are other dies as well. So we've got these 2 really nice labels, and if I turn this, you can see that they work both ways. So they'll work with lots of sentiments in your stash, and they obviously also fit these. There's this really nice group of reeds, and then this reed and these reeds. So these are kind of mirror images of each other. So you've got like kind of 2 little bits of grass or reeds, and you've got 2 which go one way, 2 dies which go the other way. So you can cut lots in one pass through your machine because you've got multiple dies. This one's a little bit bigger, this is one bigger still. I don't know if the camera will pick up, but these are actually embossed as well with a sort of a vein marking on the leaves. I'm hoping that will show, but I don't think it is. You might be able to see it on one of the cards in a minute. And then I don't know if these are intended to be used or not, but these are the little bits out of here, out of the labels. But to me they also look like little birds flying. You know when you're a child and you kind of do that V shape for birds, so I've popped those on there as well. And there is more. There is also an edge die, which is this one. So it cuts this edge like that, and then the bit that is on top, the bit that you've cut off if you like, gives you this. So depending on what you're building in way of a scene, this could be the waves of the sea, or this could be landscapes. So it's going to be one of those dies that can be many things. So that's what you get, and I'm just going to, I've got all the stamps on blocks here, let me just pull those out ready to do some crafting. I'm not actually going to use quite all of those, but it's nice to have them ready in case, just in case I decide to go wild. Okay, and I'm going to pop this in here and put those out of the way so I don't lose them. All right. Pull out some bits and pieces. Now, I made a card to this design earlier, which I'll show you in a minute, but I wanted to do something slightly different on camera, as it were. But I haven't actually tried out these colours, so I'm hoping it's all going to work in practice as it does in my head. So in here I have a reel of linen thread, one of my favourite things to use. I have a crumb cake card base, which is 5 inches square, so my card is 10 inches by 5 inches, and I've scored it at 5 inches. I've got a piece of basic white, which is 4 3/4 of an inch square, that's for my insert. I've got a piece of soft suede, which is also 4 3/4 inches square, and then I have a piece of crumb cake, which must be 4 5/8, I think, square. Yes, 4 5/8 of an inch square, just so I get that really narrow border around there. Okay, so that's how my layers are going to get put together. I've got ink in crumb cake and early espresso, and I have a pack of the new masks. This is called the Artistic Mix masks. These are fabulous. I'll be showing you these more later, but this is the one that I'm going to use, and the pieces that were cut from there are actually in the pack as well, so I could use those. But for today I'm going to use this Stampin' Up call these stencils. In my book this is they call them masks. In my book this is a stencil. In fact, if I find, there we go, that's one of the pieces that came out. You see, for me that is a mask. Let's say I've stamped a sentiment, cover it over with that, and then I'll ink all over and then remove the mask. And I call this a stencil because I'm going through the holes. But anyway, who am I? Who am I to correct Stampin' Up's language? Let me just drink some water. Okay. So I'm going to use this mask on my card with some crumb cake ink. I've got my ink blending brush. This is the one I use for brown inks, and I've got a block here just to help blend the ink on the block. And I'm just going to try and get this roughly in the center. I actually want it slightly up from center, so hang on a minute, let's put this card straight on my grid paper, that would help. Then I can get my mask straight, and I'm using this lovely curvy shape here. I'm going to get the mask central, right to left, and a little bit higher than the middle. Right, I think everything is pretty straight. Yeah. Now I could washi tape that in place, but I'm not going to, because it's not very much I'm actually going to do, but do put some washi tape around it to keep it in place if you like, or some strips of our new masking paper would be good too. So I've just rubbed my ink blending brush on my ink pad, and now I just like to blend it on a clear block. So this is something you could use one of those clear blocks from the kits with if you wanted, and that just helps to apply it evenly across all the bristles. And then whenever I'm using these, I start moving my hand before I make contact with the paper. So this is going to be very subtle. I may need a little bit more ink than I've got. I think I will. And I'm getting a tone on tone effect because this is crumb cake ink on crumb cake card. There we are. I think that will probably do the trick. And then take my mask up, and there we go. And then I just need a baby wipe. I'm just going to clean that mask or stencil before I lie my arm in it. And I'm going to clean this block as well. There we are. So that's just given me a slightly more interesting focal point to do my stamping over than if I had just left everything plain. Right, now I'm going to bring in my little turn. I think I want the bulrushes. Where are those? And this one here, this kind of reedy stamp, and I'm stamping a shade darker. I think I'm going to stamp in Early Espresso. I may end up with Soft Suede, which is the card I've used. So let me just, this is just a scrap. I'm just going to stamp on here in Espresso. Look at that. Honestly, I'm such a messy crafter. Let's try and get rid of that. I've got ink on the palm of my hand. Okay. Right, so if I bring this back in, and I'm just going to lay that there, and let's put that on here. I told you I haven't actually made one of these up, didn't I? So it's one of those things I just kind of designed in my head. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to use that darker ink. Okay, so I'm going to ink up my little, I'm calling him a tern. We have a lot of terns locally to me. I'm quite fond of these little birds. And I'm going to stamp him down there, and then this sort of watery one I'm going to stamp kind of going across and up here. And then let's have these bulrushes, which I really like. I love a bulrush. There we go, like that. Do I want another bulrush? Not sure. Let's stamp two together on here and see what I think. I think I do. I think I do. There we go. Yes. And then I'm going to put some words on there. So let's do that thank you, which I told you that I hadn't actually stamped on my little sampler from this set. Pop that down there, I think. There we go. So just simple stamping, and I know I dug out a mask for this, but that really wasn't very complicated, was it? You could see that. Yeah, and that's going to go across there. So let me tie some linen thread round before I layer it all up. I'm going to have a knot the other side, I think, just to balance things right. I don't know how much of this I want, but I do want it wound round 3 times. There we go, that looks about right. And you know, I don't always have things prepared. Sometimes I just, you know, this is my process, if you like. I'll have a bit of scrap card, I'll try a stamp, I'll stamp it again. Do I want 2? Do I want 1? Is that the right colour? Quite a lot ends up in the bin. Hopefully not everything. And I'm just going to tie this in a knot, and I'm putting it the opposite side to where I've got that sentiment, just to help balance things out. There we are. And find my ribbon scissors. There we are. Now I'm ready to layer everything together. Let's find my glue. I think this is a great bundle for making masculine cards. They don't have to be masculine, and I've got one I'll show in a minute which probably isn't really very masculine at all, but men can be hard to make cards for, and I think this set will work really nicely for that. And there are lots of other sets probably sitting on your shelves that you can mix and match with this. Oceanside would work really nicely with this. It's just one that comes to mind. There we are. Right, now I'm going to layer that on this one. Ooh, see, I've got a big smudge of glue there. You can tell I'm out of practice with this, can't you? Do you know, I went a whole weekend last weekend. I didn't do any crafting for 3 days. That was seriously odd. It's not something that very often happens. I'm just going to scrape off the worst of that glue, and when it's dried I shall get my glue eraser on there. Yeah, so it felt a bit strange getting a stamp in my hand again on Monday. So that's that. I have my insert here. So I'm just going to create a kind of a mini version of the scene on there. Where's my bulrush? There it is. There we go. I might put those flying birds up there as well. There we go. Wasn't sure if I dipped my fingers in the ink pad again. I don't think I did. I think as well I might just add those 2 flying birds to the front. I've just looked at it and thought there's a little bit too much space there. So I'm going to stamp these there, which is slightly high risk because, you know, everything else is done. It's all stuck together. Just need to be careful. There we go. Got away with it. I normally say stamp everything before you stick it all together. But, you know, sometimes, sometimes I don't. Right, let's get that glue off. Okay. So there we are, that's my first card. Oh, I just got something strange flashed up on my iPad. I don't know what that was. Hopefully everything's all right. It says I'm still live. Hoping I am. Okay, let's lift that up. Try and show you a little bit closer. I'm really bad at doing this because I can never work out where the camera lens is when I lift it up. It's up one end and it's slightly off center. There we go. Right, I'm going to quickly clean those stamps off. So I'll leave that for you to look at while I do this. And actually, while I clean them, let me move that over because there's another version of that which I've done for you to see, which is very similar, but it's a little bit different. So I've used completely different colours. I've used balmy blue on this one and basic grey. I've changed it to a conventional C6 size of card. The stamping's a little bit different, although I've used the same stencil. And I've distressed the edges of the card layers, and I've also brushed them with ink. I'll lift it up in a sec so you can see that in a little bit more detail. It's quite fun to play around. When you've got a design you like, you can just play around with it, change the colours, change the orientation maybe, make it a little bit grungy. I've used the baker's twine here instead of the linen thread, and you can see I've scraped around and scratched up and torn the edges there and then inked them. So there we go, that is my first card. Put all that away, move those over there, and let's see what else I have to show you. Again, this is another one I've done in my head. I haven't actually made it, but I think it's going to work. It's another square card, because I always make C6 cards, so I thought not today, we'll do something different. So this is the same size, this is a 5-inch card. So I started off with a piece 10 inches by 5 inches and scored it at 5 inches. This is Old Olive. Then I have a piece of basic white for the front, which is 4 3/4 inches square. I have a piece for the inside, which is 4 3/4 inches square. And then I did a little bit of die cutting first, because I thought time might be short, which, looking at my watch, it is indeed. I've obviously been wittering on again. So I've got 2 pieces here that I've cut with the wave die. And on this piece, this is like the first cut, and then I just cut that end bit as well. So I've got 2 pieces that I can layer together, because I didn't want them to end up, for this card anyway, with those waves parallel to each other. So I had to extend the piece so the wave points are offset. So that's cut in soft sea foam. Then I've cut 3 of these groups of reeds in Old Olive. Let me lift this one up and see if you can see the embossing on it to make those veins. It might be easier to see on the green. I don't know, it might not. I'm just looking across to see what you can see. I'm not sure you can still see that, unfortunately. If I bring it away a little bit. It's a shame, it's very distinctly there, but I can't seem to get the camera to pick it up. Never mind. And then I stamped the flying heron using basic grey ink on basic white card, and I die cut it. So I've done all of that already, and now I'm just going to do some assembling. So I'm going to work on this, and I want to do one more piece of stamping first before I stick everything down, following my rule of stamp everything before you glue anything. So this is my tallest piece of water. Then I've got my heron, who's going to be about here, but I want another stamped heron. Somewhere I've got an ink pad, here we go. Basic grey ink pad here. And my idea, if I can find my stamp, here it is to stamp another heron flying, but I'm going to stamp off first once, so this one will be paler. Let me just see. Yeah, there's going to be enough ink on there, because I'm hoping that that will then look as if he's further away. So I'll ink my stamp, stamp off once on some scrap paper, and then stamp my heron. So there he is. Right, so that's the stamping done on this for now. I'm now just going to start attaching these pieces. So I'm going to glue on the first of these pieces, which I'm thinking of as being water, and then I'm going to sandwich some of those die cut reeds in between the 2 layers of water. So they're going to be something like that. And then I've got one more to go on the front, because I don't know if you can see, I didn't emboss, didn't die cut this very well. I didn't stop in time, so I've got a bit of a ridge where my cutting plate went, where I extended the embossing on this, so I just want to hide that. So a bit of reed will do that nicely. Something like that, and then my other heron's going to go here. So let's just stick these down. If I'd thought about it, I would have used the adhesive sheets on the back of here, so they've just been like stickers, but I didn't, so so I'm gluing them by hand. but they're not too bad to glue. Some of these little die cuts are very, very fine, but this one's not too bad. I'm going to put this one kind of a little bit further along and a little bit lower down. I don't want it to just look like 3 pieces all the same, all in a line. You could trim this up as well. You could make it into 2 or 3 pieces, and it would look completely different. It wouldn't look like another die cut that's actually the same. And then this is going to be too long, but I'll trim it once it's stuck on. You just see how long that's going to need to be. A little bit more glue on there. There we are. Trim that off and then I'll lift it up and show you. Alright, I'm also covered in glue. Oh, I am such a messy crafter today, honestly. Right, so now I want my last little set of reeds. And they're going to go, where's that ridge? I've got a ridge going down here where I was careless with my die cutting, but it's not a mistake, it's an embellishment opportunity, so I will embellish it with a few reeds. There we are. That's absolutely fine, and only you and I are going to know that I actually made a mistake there, so as long as you don't tell anyone, I'll get away with it. Right, some dimensionals for this heron. Still got sticky on my fingers. Just need a piece of one, I think, for his feet. I've got a mini dimensional, but I think that's going to be too small, so I'll just cut a little piece of this edging strip. There we are. As always, I use plenty of dimensionals because I don't want this to arrive in somebody's letterbox all squashed down. I want it to be fully supported. So I don't want it to look exactly like a mirror image of that heron, so I'll put it at a slightly different angle. There we are, something like that. Oh, I've still got glue all over me. Alright, let's layer this on the front. This is quite heavy, so I will put glue across the back as well. I don't usually do that, but it's quite weighty with all those layers of card down at the bottom. There we are. And then I just need my insert. I think it might actually be fun to have the standing heron inside. I've got my card straight. Let's straighten that up. There's no point having paper with a grid on it if I'm not taking advantage of it to stamp my heron straight, is there? and my happy birthday stamp. I love stamp sets that have happy birthday and thank you in them. My two most often used phrases. There we are, and I'm going to pop this inside, and then this card is done. There we are. Oh, you know when your fingers are all sticky and everything you touch feels sticky? That's where I am now. I need to go and have a really good wash. Hand sanitizer is actually very good at getting the sticky off your fingers, so I may have to go and find my hand sanitizer. There we are. So I haven't got one of these in a different colour to show you because I didn't actually make one. I made this one in my head and got the bits ready and hoped that it would work out, but I think it has, so I'm pleased with that one. And then finally, and I've realised we're gone 3 o'clock, so I'm not going to make one of these. I'm just going to show you my sample, which is one where I've used the ink blending brushes again, and I've used the stamps and the dies. So I'll show you the pieces. And then it will hopefully make sense to you. There we go. All right, so I inked 2 pieces of card, 2 pieces of basic white, in some of my favourite colours for sunset, which are Highland Heather, Melon Mambo, Polished Pink is also lovely, Calypso Coral and So Saffron. So I did the 2 pieces of card, and what I actually did was I worked on the big one, so I applied my first colour and then I laid this next to it because this second piece is slightly smaller, so I laid it centrally along this side, and then let's say if I put this on here like that, so my purple inks come up to about here, and then I applied purple ink to there, and then I applied pink ink, and then the Calypso Coral and the yellow, if that makes sense. So I applied a colour to this, and then I matched so that the line where the colour changed was the same on both pieces of card, and then repeated that with 4 colours, which is how I got this looking as if it had gone across. What I didn't do was I did not ink it like that, because if you're working across an uneven surface, across the join in the card like this, you get a little white halo. Even with a blending brush you'll get that. So I did 2 separate pieces, and then I just put them together with some black card in between. Like that. So before I stuck those layers together, I added a couple of these die cut reeds behind, then I stuck my layer on. Oh, excuse me, it is very dry in here. Let me just have some water. Right, so I stuck my die cuts on. I stamped my heron and my birds on here before I'd stuck it to anything. Then I layered it all together, and then finally I put one of these big reed die cuts across the top. And then I picked one of my colours here for the background card, and then I could have picked another one here. There we go, there's one on purple, just to give you an idea. It would look completely different even if it's exactly the same, other than the colours on purple card. I'm just looking to see if there's any more comments. I don't think there are. If you've got any questions, shout them out now. Well, don't shout them because I won't hear you, but type them in now. And let me bring back the cards. Will those all show? I think they might just get all those on the screen. Yeah, there we go. So Heron Habitat, it's lovely. I've only scratched the surface of what you can do with this. I really think it's worth getting those dies as well as the stamps. I think they work really nicely together, and they will work probably with other things that you've got in your stash. So really, really nice set of stamps and dies. I like them. So I'm just going to bring you back up so I can see, well, I can see you. Actually, I can't see you at all, but you can see me, hopefully. There we are. I'll tell you what we're going to do next time, which is I'm going to bring out these masks again, or are they stencils, and some embossing paste, which is one of my favourite things to play with. The Stampin' Up embossing paste is really easy to work with. It's beautiful quality, it's lightweight, it dries really fast, especially if it's still warm. It'll probably be raining next week, but anyway, so I'm going to play with that next week. So in the meantime, remember to take a look at the last chance list. Remember to have a look at the kits collection. Now, what I didn't say was that the kits are not in the catalogues. The idea is that they can add more kits to what's available as and when, without having to wait for a catalogue launch, like the 2 they've just added last week. And then when they're all sold out, they'll just take them away. So do have a look at my online shop. There you can see all the kits that are available. Remember, they're buy one, get one half price. Your half price one is your most expensive one, which is fantastic. Order your Hues of Happiness sampler by a week today, next Friday. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Make sure you drink plenty, wear a hat if you're out in the sun, and don't forget your sunscreen. But have a great weekend, whatever you're doing, even if you're just inside with a fan on. And I will see you at 2 o'clock next Friday. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye-bye.